Hello, you currently find me in the workshop and I'm working on a custom hiking stick for a lady. It's got some unusual requirements, as in a grizzly bear, a name, and a frog near the handle, and some intricate design work all the way down the handle. And as you can see, I'm burning it on, and you can just see I've just finished doing the bear itself. There it is, there's the bear, and I'm just in the middle of doing the name, and obviously I've done it in pencil first, and I've checked, double checked and triple checked the spelling. um, you know, there's no point in having a disaster, quite simply because my spelling is off. But this hiking stick is going to have, like I said, that burnt on artwork. It's going to have a paint job as well, and this is going to be in the style of what we call the candy cane, and I'll show you that in a moment. But first, I must, while I've got my iron hot, I'm going to finish just burning the name, so then I'll quickly show you what our candy cane model looks like. So this is our candy cane model. How it came about is not every lady wants a hiking stick that looks, how can I use that word, more from the woods, more, shall we say, not modern in its feel. I mean, a lot of ladies, particularly younger ladies, they actually have been asking for something that could, be brought more into the modern, colourful kind of sphere of stick making, and indeed compete with the metal and the hiking poles, which have bright colours and everything. So this is our answer, and as you can see, it starts off with like various kind of pinks and purples that gradually merge in together in a kind of like tie-dye effect. But I've also got little butterflies in amongst it as it wraps up over the actual stick. And as you can see, this one here, it gradually fades to a bigger, wider candy cane look as you go up the shaft. And indeed, the butterflies on it have got bigger as I've gone up the shaft. Obviously, there's my logo there. But there is some intricate work in the handle as well. Now this one here is the prototype, and this is for, or was used by my wife, and I needed to test out whether the combination of paints that I were going to use, the combination of techniques and varnishes that wouldn't react with the paints, would provide me with longevity in use. And believe you me, my wife, this gets thrown in our car, kids' bikes go on top of it, it gets thrown around. It's not treated with any reverence or respect. It is quite honestly just an item for herself to use. But it has stood up, and I'm pleased to say, even in the 40 degrees temperatures where things were getting hot, you could expect paint and varnishes to react with each other, become soft and pliable. No, this did hold up, and it performed exceptionally well, and it's all held up. And like I said, I've got a series of butterflies along the handle, and then as you can see, the intricate work along the top bit there. But this one here, it does obviously mean there's a lot more work into me producing a stick. But what the customer wants, the customer gets, and I've responded to what ladies want or have asked, and this is what I do now produce. It's, truly viable. It works. Funnily enough, most ladies do not want a copper tip. It's a rubber tip. And these here do get used indoors, in around shopping areas and places you couldn't use a copper tip, as they're off-road outdoor hiking sticks. So this type of thing is pretty much a general purpose hiking stick for the individual. But yeah, it's held up very well, and I'm just in the process of converting this look to this hiking stick I'm doing for this lady as well, who I've just shown you wants the bears. I've now got to proceed to put a frog on the handle somewhere, and then I've got to do this intricate work here on the handle as well at the top of hers. If I bring you in closer, you might see it. I've got to get that all prepped and ready to go to achieve that. I've got to find somewhere to put my logo, and then I've obviously got to give it that candy cane look running back up through. So, from where I'm burning now, you can see I've still got a lot of work, ahead of me. But I have been experimenting with another one, which I'm calling the Trail Camo, and obviously, as in the name, it's a painted one like this, but with a camo effect. But I still want enough wood to show through. Like on these, there is just enough wood for you to get that natural feel from the actual product. It doesn't look like it's something plastic or metal or of any kind of substance other than wood as the actual makeup of the stick. So yeah, I always try to leave some parts of wood available to be seen, so you can just get the measure that it is a natural product from its core out. And that kind of is my main aim with these sticks, to merge new and shall we say ideas that have been presented to me, what people want, but still keep that little bit of folklore hiking stick visible. Yeah, so basically you can see you can't see it in a minute. I've finished doing the wood burning, and now I'm doing the masking off before I paint. I'm also getting stencils sorted on the actual stick placement. I'm actually peeling back bits of masking tape in a more rounded fashion to make it look more smooth, and the transition from the paint to wood look a lot better. This is taking a massive amount of time, and it's something that you have to factor into when you're producing one of these sticks. And not only that, it will take several coats, and you will then have to apply the varnish in several coats on top. So you're starting to run into a lot of days drying time, even once you've actually get all this finished. And to get this masking and get the design right in itself was taking me 2 or 3 attempts. And it may look a mess and peeled back at the moment, but that's because I'm actually trying to get everything to flow, and I don't want the paint to have sharp edges. And by that I mean that everything's more rounded, so I'm peeling back to try and give it that rounded feel. Yeah, a lot of work, and in reality, I possibly wouldn't recommend this to somebody who's starting out with stick making, quite simply because it's very fiddly. It's reasonably technical in the fact that if it's not done right, it will look hideously wrong and look wrong to the casual observer. You have to be able to produce this with a standard that it actually does look, everything on it was meant to happen. Yeah, so it does take a little bit of time, and believe you me, I spent a lot of time on making sure that this will look right. But I'm now going to spray it now and start building up the coats of paint. Yeah, so it's been sprayed now, and it's got full coverage. Obviously it's looking a little bit tatty and a little bit messy, but once we remove all the tape and the masking and indeed the stencils, we will see what we have underneath, and then it will be to varnish it. But from here, it's just a waiting game to let it dry. So I've got two others here which I'm going to finish doing the burning on at the moment. And yeah, these two here are both copper tipped. These are my traditional ones, and these will have woodland animals burnt on them. Nice pieces of hazel, and that's got a nice forward facing bend that I've put on it with a rounded crown. So that's looking very nice. But I'm just getting set up now to do these. I've cleaned up, and yeah, I will put some traditional woodland animals on these. So what's the advantage of doing burnt on artwork over than having a figurehead or a intricate carving or a painting on a stick? The simple answer is it's robust. I can throw this over the wall. It doesn't matter if it lands on a rock the other side. If I stumble and fall, use this to bash my way through some undergrowth. It really doesn't matter because it's a piece of stick. The artwork is burnt on. It's not going to chip off. It's not going to be knocked. Like I say, if you've got a nose on a particular animal carved into the wood, one wrong trip, slip, fall, or a bash or a wallop, and you lose the nose or an ear. It's just robust, and that's quite simply the main reason I do wood burning. And same with painting. You start chipping it and knocking it about. I know some people say if you've invested a lot of money in a hiking stick which has those features, you're going to look after it, and that's probably true. But as you can see by my other videos, when I'm out there in the field, so to speak, doing my hiking or bushwhacking through difficult terrain, one of my hiking sticks is basically made to be used and abused. So basically wood burning kind of allows me to put a little bit of a signature stamp on it, give the stick a little bit of a personal touch and a feel, with that woodland burnt on animal or what have you, or a frog and a bear, and it does sort of like lend itself to hard field and hard use. That's pure and simply the reason. So I've just finished burning a badger on this one, a badger's head, and there you go, you can see it there, a very handsome badger. There you go, looking very nice. Logo obviously back to front to you because of the way the camera's filming it. But yeah, I will now start applying the finishing coats to this one, and this will be a very nice stick for somebody, and it's of a substantial gauge, so it's going to be nice in the hand, and it would suit all the way through from hiking, dog walking, moors, and even as far as bushwhacking with something like this. And that is out of the way. It's not going to get knocked, chipped, bashed, or the only thing that will eventually get it is sun damage. And I do try to use a UV finish which will give it longevity, but it is what it is, and this should gives somebody a lot of pleasure to be able to look and see a woodland animal there. And I've said it before, but a lot of people said it also almost adds a little bit of a kind of like spirit to the stick itself as they're out hiking. You know, not in a, you know, a silly sense, but it just makes that stick feel a little bit special, like it's something of its own. Well, it's the morning after. It's a Saturday morning, you know, reasonably early, and I'm just going to unmask this, and I'll give it a coat of clear polyurethane. That's as much as I'm going to do because it's a weekend. It'll be Monday before I do anything more to it. Put the top coat on. But I've got the unenviable task of peeling all this masking back and seeing what lies underneath. And in doing so, you've got to try and not pull paint off because either it's too rock hard and it's bonded to masking tape and stick, or it's too soft, and in any case when you start pulling it off it will kind of strip a layer either side away because it's not fully set onto the wood. So it's a fine line, a fine balance, and that's nothing anybody can actually tell you. You know, it's something you just have to find out through experience doing this type of thing. Can be frustrating, but yeah, I'm now in the process of stripping, so it's long, laborious and slow. As you can see, I'm being very cautious and gentle. In fact, I think I will probably strip this of its masking, and I'll probably give it till Monday to fully harden off the paint. And what I'll have to do is soften those edges on the actual design, which means I will just gently scrape away some of the paint which has more right angles in the actual work. So I have to scrape that away to give it its more of a flow. So I've got to take away some of the sharp edges. For example, this one here by the head, I will just gradually just take that away, that bit of paint, to make it flow. And like I said, it's very nerve-wracking because, you know, you can take out a whole load of paint which has either stuck too much or not stuck enough. Yeah, and a perfect example is I've got a little bit of masking tape stuck inside the paint there on the cane swirl. Now, I've got to be very delicate when I just get this out. If I'm too overexcited, I could actually misshape my actual cane shape there. And if I do that, basically, I could end up ruining it. Sandpaper you can't use because sandpaper will obviously eat into the paintwork itself. It is basically a very, very sharp knife scraping away. Like I said earlier, this is an extremely laborious method to produce a hiking stick, but unfortunately it does yield a result which is eye-catching. And that's just one little piece there. And there's a few little pieces I've seen along the way. I'm going to have to go back and work with a knife. I haven't finished. I'm only just working. This is 20 minutes in, and I've got to this point here, and now I'm going up on the top of the handle. Yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking doing this. I've pretty much got it where I want it to be so far as the actual cleanliness of the lines. Like I said, this is starting from the bottom. It's going to have a rubber tip, this one. Been requested. Obviously my logo's back to front there. As we said before, so's the name. I've actually got the bear there. I've cleaned the lines up there. There's a cartoon frog that was wanted. I've just got a little bit more cleaning to do with that. A design up the actual handle. So basically it'll be for me then to varnish this, but I'm going to let this sit for the rest of the weekend so the paint fully hardens off. And from there I'll do my final inspection and clean up of the lines and that, but I'm happy that I've got all the masking and everything off to, you know, so it allows me just to have that final clean up and not disturb the actual lines of the paint. So there you have the two sticks I showed you previously. The Badger one here, it's got its first coat of varnish on. You can see the Badger one there. That one's obviously self-explanatory. It's a Badger. And the one that you didn't see, I've done a pheasant. A small little pheasant on the actual shaft. Yeah, so they're going to sit there and dry. That one I'm giving till Monday so that the actual the paint has a full time to mature, so it won't react with the varnish. And these will get their second coat. Incidentally, I've stripped these back from bark, so they're pretty much barkless. Not fully, but there's enough bark removed from it for me to kind of classify these as almost just a wood model. There's enough bark just on the handle to see that it's not something that's from over processed you know, commercial wood. You can still see this is you know, a natural item from the actual woods and forests. But yeah, that's it pretty much for this look and show what's happening in the workshop at the moment. And you know, just a quick insight to a new model I've got going on. Yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit to what's happening in the workshop regarding my crafting, because I haven't showed anything that's been happening in there for quite a while. But in any case, it's a Saturday, I shut the workshop down and I'm taking the kids down the coast and we're going to go for a little look-see and just get out the house. And all that's left to say is I hope to catch you on the trail. This is Andy, take care and see you soon.